My name is Eleanor. I'm 91 years old, and there's a name I haven't said out loud in 43 years. Not once. Not to my husband before he died, not to my children, not even to myself, really. Not the way you're supposed to say a name, with weight, with acknowledgment. I've thought it. God knows I've thought it. But thinking something and speaking it, those are different things entirely. I'm recording this because I don't know how much time I have left, and I think I need to hear myself say it, even if no one else does, even if it changes nothing. I grew up in a small town in Ohio, the kind of place where everyone knew your family going back 3 generations, where your reputation was built before you were born and maintained whether you wanted it or not. I was the oldest of 4 girls. My father worked at the lumber mill. My mother kept house and watched us like a hawk, though she said it was love. Maybe it was. I don't know anymore. I was a good girl. That's what mattered. I went to church, I helped with my sisters, I got decent grades. I smiled when I was supposed to. And when I turned 19, I married Richard. Not because I was madly in love, not because I couldn't imagine life without him, but because it was 1952, and that's what you did. He was kind. He had a job. He asked my father first, the right way. So I said yes. We had a small wedding. My mother made my dress. Richard's family came from 2 towns over. There was cake and punch, and everyone said I looked beautiful. I remember standing at the reception, smiling, and feeling empty. Not sad, exactly, just absent, like I was watching someone else's life happen in front of me. But I told myself that was normal, that marriage was an adjustment, that love would come. We moved into a little house on Maple Street. Richard worked at the same mill my father did. I kept house the way my mother taught me. Within 2 years, we had our first child, a daughter. We named her Susan. Then came Michael, then Sarah, and my life became exactly what it was supposed to be. I cooked, I cleaned, I raised the children, I attended church on Sundays and smiled at the neighbors and planted flowers in the front yard every spring. Richard was fine. He wasn't cruel, he didn't drink too much or raise his voice. He provided, he was faithful. We didn't fight, really, but we didn't talk either, not about anything that mattered. We lived side by side, parallel, never quite touching. And then, in the summer of 1967, I met someone. Her name was Catherine. She moved into the house 3 doors down with her husband, a man who traveled for work. She was younger than me by a few years, dark hair, always a little wind-blown. She had this way of laughing that made you feel like you were in on a secret. We met at the mailbox one afternoon. She was holding a box that had been delivered to the wrong address. "You're Eleanor, right?" she said. I nodded. "I'm Catherine. Looks like the mailman can't read." She smiled. I smiled back. And that was it. We started having coffee, just the 2 of us, in the mornings after our husbands left for work and the kids were at school. At first, it was nothing. Recipes, complaints about the weather, small talk. But then, it became something else. She asked me questions no one had ever asked me. Not what I did, but what I thought, what I wanted, what scared me. And I answered. I told her things I'd never said out loud, about how I felt invisible most days, about how I didn't recognize myself anymore, about how I'd spent so many years being what everyone needed that I'd forgotten what I needed. She listened,
really listened. We started spending more time together, walks in the evening while our families ate dinner, afternoons at her kitchen table that stretched longer than they should have. I told myself it was friendship, that I was lonely, that it was nice to have someone to talk to. But I knew. Even then, I knew. There was one afternoon in late August. The air was thick and humid, the kind of heat that makes everything feel slower. We were sitting on her back porch. The windows were open. There was a fan turning in the corner, not doing much. She was talking about something, I don't even remember what, and I was watching her. The way her hands moved when she spoke, the way her hair fell across her face and she tucked it behind her ear without thinking. And I thought, I want to touch her. Not in a vague way, not theoretically. I wanted to reach across the space between us and put her hand on hers. I wanted to feel the warmth of her skin. I wanted to know what it would be like to be close to someone and actually feel something. I didn't. I sat there, frozen. She looked at me. "You okay?" she asked. I nodded, smiled, said something about the heat. That moment stayed with me. It replayed in my head at night when I lay next to Richard in the dark. It came back to me when I was doing dishes or folding laundry or sitting in church. I tried to push it away, told myself I was confused, that I was imagining things, but the feeling didn't leave. It got stronger. Catherine and I kept seeing each other almost every day, and the more time we spent together, the harder it became to pretend I didn't feel what I felt. There were moments, small ones, her hand brushing mine when we reached for the same cup, the way she looked at me sometimes like she could see through me, the silence between us that felt heavy with something neither of us could name. I think she felt it too. I think we both knew, but neither of us said it.